rejection is a really human thing that everyone goes through. And some people are more accepting of it than others, while others, really struggle with getting rejected. And it's very much a skill which you practice, where people who are in sales are very much more accepting of rejection, whereas people who are not in sales are a lot more avoidant to rejection, or just the idea of rejection, right? About a year ago, before that, today I came to the library to film a podcast episode with a random person, and I didn't do that. And I just want to observe what I did, just walk through the process of what I did all the way from home to here, and why I failed, right? So a little context. About a year ago, a year and a half, when I was starting my marketing agency, I decided to, just walk into stores and ask them if they wanted a marketing person to market the store, right? I had the worst sales script ever, so it didn't actually end up working. But what that got me was a bunch of brownie points in terms of rejection acceptance. And I was so confident then. I filmed this one TikTok video for my series, which I walked into a Wendy's and asked for $100. And it's absolutely insane that I did that then. But over the past year, I kind of stopped doing marketing agency reach outs, especially in-person reach outs, and I didn't do any rejection therapy things. So it kind of all went away. And today, recently, I had this idea to start this podcast. And I was watching Alex Hermosa video about the importance of prioritization and how you can have top 5 things on your to-do list, and the bottom 4 don't actually matter. The one thing that matters is the top number 1 thing. Because what a lot of people do is they focus on the non-important things, the semi-important things, and they forget to actually get to the most important thing that actually move everything 100x, right? And for this podcast, the most important thing is putting out the next pod. It's not, thinking about my mission statement. That stuff doesn't actually matter at this point. What matters is getting another podcast episode out. What matters is the consistency over anything else. And I knew the next thing I had to do was go get a podcast with someone. And the fastest way there was to find a random person or reach out to a friend. And so today my goal was to just come to the library and talk to someone random, right? And in the morning I spent the morning kind of procrastinating by doing other tasks that weren't as important, such as working on this other podcast that I'm doing, or working on my YouTube channel, finishing up this edit that I was doing. I finished all those things, and I was left at 10 a.m. like, oh shit, I gotta do this thing. And I spent about, I would say, 30-45 minutes just sitting there procrastinating, because it's so scary to think about rejection. It's so scary to think that I might get rejected. And the fact that there wasn't even a worst case scenario, right? I'm gonna continue with this. There wasn't even a worst case scenario in my mind that was so bad that I couldn't do it. The worst case scenario was that I would come here and then someone would say, sorry, I'm busy, I can't have a 2-minute conversation with you. And for some reason it was so scary that I was procrastinating on it. And I was like, you know what, let me just do the next thing, which is get in my car and drive to the library. I got here and I was like, the next thing is just walking into the library. And I knew that there's nothing else I could do other than doing the thing. There's this one short video by Chris Williamson where he says, there's nothing that's doing the thing other than doing the thing. You can think about doing the thing, but that's not doing the thing. You can research about doing the thing, but that's not doing the thing. You can prepare for doing the thing, but that's not doing the thing. You can talk to other people about doing the thing, but that's not doing the thing. The only thing that's doing the thing is doing the thing. And that was running through my mind all morning. I was like, dude, I'm just procrastinating on doing the thing. So I walk in and I see the person that I should have talked to. And I'm walking closer and my heart is beating. And I just walk past and I go get a Dragon Ball book and I sit down. And I sit down and I read the Dragon Ball book, and I'm like, all right, it's time to go talk to him. I go up, get another Dragon Ball book, and I sit down. And I did that until I finished probably 6 volumes. And I just felt miserable, bro. And I was getting the last volume that was on the shelf. And I still feel miserable about that. But there was actually this person who was putting up art posters. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. What posters are you putting up? And I asked her, and we just started a conversation, and we talked for a bit. I still regret the fact that I didn't ask her to interview her for the podcast. I had a conversation, but I didn't do the thing, dude. And today I just want to make that observation of, I decided that I would do the thing, but I didn't do the thing. And now I'm thinking, what do I do next? You know, what do you do when you're in a situation where you decided to do something and you just didn't do it? You procrastinate on it. You're trying to ignore this feeling that you have inside. And obviously you could be happy with doing half of the thing, but you didn't actually do the thing. And I could go home today and feel and tell myself that it's enough, but deep down I know that it wasn't enough. So what do you do in this situation? I was writing my journal the other day of like reflecting on my past year of journaling, where I would journal so much. You know, I would sit down and journal for hours. I would journal for at least an hour every day. What I realized was that I would journal so much, but not a lot of change was actually happening, because I would think about this problem from so many different scenarios and make it so complex and build up this whole like theory and understanding around this problem of something that's very simple, which is like, how can I make this harder for myself? You know, let's say I don't want to watch too much Netflix. How can I make it harder for myself? Or what's the next thing I need to do the thing? And sometimes we get so in our mind and build these structures and systems that are just too complex, when it just needs to be simple, right? And maybe it's not about the systems. I think having systems is really important. But maybe what's important isn't... What I'm saying is that when you're journaling, right, there's this tendency to be very literary and scholastic about it. Be like, you know, use big words and try to understand it from different perspectives. But honestly, a lot of these problems that we're talking about are problems that we've already dealt with. And we've talked about it, we understand it, and we've seen videos about it, we've seen advice about it, we know everything about it. But we still come back to the journal because it's comfortable to talk about it. But we know it. Like, the thing is, I know the solution right now is to either go back into the library and talk to someone, or go into the nearest McDonald's and talk to someone. But it's comfortable to go into my journal, go on here and just talk. So what do you do when you know what the answer is? And this is where I'm making it complex. You know what the answer is, but da-da-da-da-da. I know what the answer is, but da-da-da-da. But the thing is, it's just doing the thing. And I don't know why it's so scary, right? I wish I could tell you why it's so scary. It's just so scary right now. I can't believe I'm in this position where it's so scary right now. But it is, and what do I do, right? Yeah. Thank you for listening. I mean, to be honest, I don't know what the conclusion is. To say that the thing is just doing the thing is amazing advice. But I think what's more important is this thing that I'm going through right now. I'm just struggling right now, man. I wish I had it solved. I wish I could solve it like this. But honestly, that's not what I want either. Let's make it happen, man. Let's make it happen.